Sup YouTube, this is K-Pop Chaster, and I'm here with your Naruto Review 602. Yeah, this was basically a flashback chapter. I'll be doing my review, but I'm not sure if it's in order of events as how I say it, because I just read the chapter and I don't want to go over it again. So it might not be in the same order, but it'll be the same general idea of what happened in the chapter. So first of all, let's get to the review first of all. The overview, if you didn't read it, or if you did. Basically, we see Obito. He is bandaged up. He is in Madara's lair, who we'll find out later. The old man is indeed Madara in this chapter, and you know, at first Obito is rather he's like, he wakes up, he sees Madara, and he's like, oh, are you Shinigami? You know, because he has the scythe and everything, and he's like, you must be a Shinigami who takes away Uchiha's lives and stuff, because he kind of does. Madara kind of does look Shinigami, but you know, Madara's like, no, Madara isn't a Shinigami, but Madara doesn't really give a crap at this point, but about his identity rather. Let's see what else goes on in the chapter. A lot of talking goes on. There's a few things that we find out from the chapter though. One is that Obito wasn't a complete a-hole. You know, because everyone was like blaming him, you know, why would he turn evil for Rin, blah blah blah. I think part of the reason is Rin. I mean, but I think what led up to that point was Madara, because if you read the chapter, it's really Madara's fault for all of this stuff going to him. Madara does save him, but if you notice in the chapter, it states that he was going to have Obito do things for him to repay the debt. So it can lead to no good, because we've seen anyone who cooperates with Madara just, I don't know, just ends up becoming rogue, almost like a rogue ninja. Like friggin' Nagato ended up becoming a rogue. Obito became a rogue ninja as well. Blah blah blah. You know, this guy's up to no good. Orochimaru hasn't been shown in this chapter, but it doesn't. I think he has something to do with Madara's. He knows a bit about Madara. Probably helped him, possibly. I'm not sure, but we'll see that later on. I think this flashback these flashbacks are going to keep coming for a while, possibly, or maybe Kubo will be doing it bit by bit as he usually does, and then, you know. Anyhow, back to the chapter. He's basically telling Obito all this light and darkness, you know, BS, and saying, you know, give up on reality, blah blah blah. So, if you looked in the previous Naruto chapters during the war, before it was shown that Tobi and Madara were even allies, Madara mentioned a Moon Eye plan, and people were like, wait, how does he know that? They're like, how does he know this, you know? And that's because, you know, it was originally his plan, you know? Obito was just there at the wrong time. What we do also find out is Obito collapsed into his lair or something, I guess, saying that it slipped through, so I guess, during the boulder thing, his body did get crushed, but maybe his eye itself didn't get crushed because he might have awakened like the power to slip through things in that time. Possibly, because I think in the chapter Madara does state that he went into my lair and your body was, half of your body was crushed, but your eye seems to be fine. You might have slipped through or something. And Obito's happy because he's like, oh great, I can go back to Leaf, right? You know, I'm alive, I can go back to Leaf. Madara's like, no you're not. You are not going back to the Leaf. You can no longer be a shinobi. And Obito, he's shocked. He's like, what is he talking about? You know? Like, why not? We've seen the no shinobi thing with like Rock Lee, you know, when he lost his limb to Gaara. He was still able to become a shinobi eventually, so yeah, that's complete BS that Madara fed him. Anyhow, we also, when he does ask for the identity of the old man after his big lecture about light and darkness, he calls himself the ghost of the Uchiha, and then says Madara Uchiha, and he said he basically can't leave this dungeon place because he's connected to the Mazo, and if he does, he would die, because Madara's kind of cheating death right now. He's not, like, he's supposed to be dead, you know? Like, even Obito was shocked when he heard that. He's like, Madara? Are you kidding me? That he's supposed to be long dead. Like everyone else that thought that Madara was already dead. You know, everyone already thought that he was dead, but he's not. he's cheating death rather, because he's got the Mazo connected to him that's keeping him alive. If that gets disconnected, he will die. And so we can already see this leading to no good. Basically, more light and darkness crap about like the reality, how it's hell and all that, and like, you know, Obito's still in shock. He really wants to leave, but he can't, because apparently Madara says, you know, he says two major things why he can't leave. One is that the artificial body that he artificial Hashirama body that he attached to Obito, I guess, that would break off if he kept moving, which would be Zetsu's body, I guess, technically. Two, apparently there's no exit. I don't know what he means. I think in the chapter it said like you can't escape the place. There's no exit or something. I don't know. That's what he says or claims. But basically, if you look at the panel of the Zetsu bodies, or the artificial Hashirama bodies in this case, and you see a part of the portion that was taken off, I guess, to put onto Obito, that kind of swirly design with the one eye hole thing, that kind of looks like Toby's, the Toby mask, you know? I'm not sure if that's connected to it, but I'm just saying it kind of looks like it, the design. If you'll see the panel, you'll see the part where the Zetsu body's taken off and that swirly thing. I'm not sure if that was the design or that could have been part of the whole mask thing, but I don't know. We'll see. Anyhow, he's really, Madara also states that he also gave his eyes to someone else, you know? That's what he says. He gave his eyes to someone else. Now, this is what caught my attention, because a lot of people are saying the timeline doesn't make sense, because how did Obito give Nagato the Rinnegan, blah blah blah. That does make sense now, because, you know, that was clearly when Obito was acting as Madara. I'm assuming that Obito was rather mimicking the past actions of Madara as well, so that includes everything else he said. So, you know, all that BS about I gave the Rinnegan to Nagato was through Madara's perspective, not Obito's. So that clears that up. We'll also see how the timeline works out. There's still a bit of timeline errors that need to be fixed, though. Not errors, but just need to be resolved. One is the one who controlled the fourth Mizukage, and Kisame immediately recognized him. So we'll see how that plays. And the whole fourth Hokage, him looking like an adult and all that. So we'll see that. Other than that, basically Obito really pissed off at the moment, because he wants to leave Madara, but he can't, because he can't move in those bandages. And he wants to also because he has a Sharingan, you know. He's like, oh, you know, I can surpass Kakashi, and him and me can save Rin, you know, protect Rin. And he's like, in the last panel, it's like, Kakashi, Rin, wait for me, I'm still alive. So he's trying to escape at this point, but I think later on the chapters and the flashbacks will start to slowly show him turning over to Madara's side, especially once he finds out that Rin did die. I think that's when he fully becomes, you know, he's just like, screw reality. You know, I don't need reality. I think after that's the kind of trigger incident. But what led to that was Madara feeding him a bunch of BS about light and darkness, about reality sucks, all that. So that's basically my thought of the chapter. Now that was my review rather. My thoughts on the chapter. It was a good chapter for the flashback. It screwed in some loopholes that in the plot that we were thinking about. You can expect more of these flashbacks for sure. There's still a lot to be explained. This was just the beginning. There's still Orochimaru being associated with Obito and Madara. You know, who knows, or how Madara even ended up in that place. You know, who knows, Orochimaru could have like freaking like helped Madara to sustain his life or something. I don't know, because Orochimaru, you know, Orochimaru is just everywhere. You know, there's not a person that doesn't know Orochimaru. Let's just put it like that. And we'll also see kind of the development, again, the development of Obito, how that plays out in the future arcs. You know, will he turn over to Naruto and Kakashi's side and all that? the good side after this whole thing. Because, you know, Naruto has a habit of talking to convince others to turn good again, like what he did to Nagato, what he did to almost everyone that's evil. Only one that hasn't worked on is Sasuke, but that might even change, who knows. They still have to battle later on, I think. But anyhow, yeah, really interesting chapter. I can't wait for the next chapter, to be honest. I really want to see how this whole thing plays out, right? I think a flashback could possibly also be revealed for the whole Minato incident, so that we can see from, you know, kind of Obito's perspective, like how he challenged Minato in the first place. We'll see that, maybe, possibly. I also want to point out, Obito really reminds me of a fail Naruto. You know how Naruto, how do I put this? Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura from the first series of Naruto. We always saw Naruto as the dumbass, Sasuke as the cool guy, Sakura as the chick. Okay? In Obito's kind of generation, it was Kakashi as the cool guy, Obito as the dumbass, and Rin as the chick. So he kind of really reminds me of fail Naruto. If Naruto was to go evil, his perspective would be similar, maybe. I don't know, but he really does remind me of a fail Naruto. To be honest, you know, kind of does. He's really similar to Naruto in the past in a lot of ways, if you ask me. So I think that would be if Obito was to get into Naruto's, you know, talk no jutsu and become a good guy again and help take down Madara. I think it could be possible because they're very similar when they were younger, you know, very similar when they were younger. The only thing that's different is that Obito is now rogue even more because of Rin's death, but we'll see how that unravels later on as well. Really interesting plot development still left to cover. But yeah, other than that, leave your thoughts about the chapter below in the comment section. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on the chapter and what you think is going to happen in the future chapters. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'll see you guys later.